Welcome everyone. Today we are going to start the topic polarization for the class 12 physics of the chapter wave optics. This topic is important for the CBSE NEET as well as for the IDJ examination. So let's begin with this topic. Now we are going to start the topic polarization of a light. What is the meaning of polarization? Light waves propagate as a transverse electromagnetic wave. Maxwell's electromagnetic wave theory of a light. Its electric field, so magnetic field, and it's the direction of propagating wave. The magnitude of electric vector is much larger as compared to the magnetic field. That's why we are saying E is equals to C times of V, where C is the speed of light. Also, the eye is mainly affected by electric vector. Therefore, we generally prefer to describe light as an electric field oscillation. It's electric wave and its magnetic wave. Electromagnetic radiation is self-propagating composite of an electric plus magnetic field. Changing electric field produces changing magnetic field, and changing magnetic field produces changing electric field. These are self-propagation. Now let's start the topic unpolarized light. Unpolarized means which have a different kind of a various kind of a way to move in the space. Unpolarized light consists of a very large number of vibrations in all planes with equal probability at right angle to the direction of propagation. Hence, unpolarized light is represented by a star. What is that star represents? That means they are represents the different ways direction. Plane polarized light. If I'm talking about the plane polarized light, so plane polarized light have a direction of propagation of a light. This is a vertical plane. They have a fixed direction. Symbol of polarized light. In a polarized light, the vibration of electric vector are confined to only one direction, perpendicular to the direction of propagation. Plane polarized light is the direction of propagation of a light, which is in the horizontal plane, and direction of propagation of a light is a symbol of polarized light. The light having oscillations only in a one direction or a one plane is called as polarized or plane polarized. If the vibrations of electric vector is parallel to the plane of the paper, then polarized light is represented by arrow lines. They are referred as a pi component. So students, what is the meaning of that? Means if we are taking the different kind of polarities of a light, so like unpolarized light have a different kind of a direction. They can move. The light rays have not a fixed direction. Like they are moving with a random direction. But if I'm just taking a plain polarized light, so they have a fixed direction. Okay, this is the propagation. But here the directions are random. Moving ahead, if we are taking unpolarized light, which have many planes. See students, there are many planes are only applicable for the unpolarized light. And in plane polarized light, there will be a single plane. If this passes through this polarizer, all the planes or all the light rays will be get rectified, and it gives a single plane which is of polarized light. This is the analyzer. Analyze that how much actually light rays consisting. So if unpolarized light incident on a polarized, the transmitted light is a plane polarized. Here is the vertical oscillation are transmitted because the transmission axis is also vertical. The horizontal oscillations are not transmitted. That's why on the right hand side there are dots at the intersection of lines. Plane of vibration. The imaginary plane in a crystal containing the vibrations of electric vector in polarized light as well as the direction of propagation of light. Light waves is defined as a plane of vibrations. Plane of polarization. The imaginary planes in a crystal containing the direction of propagation of a light wave which is perpendicular to the plane of vibration. That is defined as a plane of polarization. Plane of vibration and polarization. So here we have taken unpolarized light which is passes through a polarizer. After that, that becomes plane polarized. This is a plane where the light will be vibrating. So this is the plane of vibration, and it's the plane of polarization. It's unpolarized light which have many planes pass through a polarizer which is the optical axis. The remaining rectified lines will be single plane, that means it's a polarized light. It's the analyzer which we are using to analyze. If analyzer will be little bit shifted at particular angle, there will be no light we receiving. What it means? The imaginary axis in a crystal polarizer parallel to which vibration of electric vector in an unpolarized light can pass through it, and it is defined as the optical axis of the crystal. Light can be polarized or transmitting through a certain crystal such as tourmaline and calcite. Polaroid are thin film of ultramicroscopic crystal of quinine iodosulfide with their optic axis parallel to each other. Quinoid iodosulfide is called as herpethite. Polaroid allow the light oscillate parallel to the transmission axis pass through them. The intensity of the transmitted light should be 50% of incident light. However, the actual practice is found to be about 35% of the incident light. The crystal or polaroid on which polarized light is incident is called as polarizer. Crystal or polaroid on which polarized light is incident is called analyzer. So in the earlier way, we saw all these things like this. It is an analyzer and it's polarizer. The unpolarized light passing from the polarizer and parallel to then polarized light, we are analyzing the nature of that polarized light by the analyzer. If the transmission axis of the polarizer and analyzer are parallel, then whole polarized light passes through the analyzer. If the transmission axis of the analyzer is perpendicular to that of polarizer, then no light passes through the analyzer. Such polarizer and analyzer are said to be crossed. Now let's move with some questions. The phenomena of polarization occurs only in transverse wave, longitudinal wave, both A and B, none of the above. The correct answer is transverse wave. The propagation of electromagnetic wave requires luminiferous ether, air medium, glass medium, electric and magnetic field. The correct answer is electric and magnetic field. The light waves have plane of vibration dash to plane of polarization. Perpendicular, parallel, none of these are tangent. The correct answer is tangent. So students, this is all much about for the today's class, in which we studied about the polarization. I hope you understand. Do revise. Till that, take care. Thank you for watching this video.